is Executive Director of the National Rifle Association. I grew up in West Tennessee, but anytime I can get out of the swamp and get back home is a good day. So I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful that UT beat Auburn this past weekend. And I'm really thankful that Hillary Clinton is not the President of the United States. But we think back to 2016 and how crazy of a year that was. And the day that fundamentally changed it for all of us who care about the Second Amendment was February 13th. I don't know if you remember what happened on February 13th of 2016, but that was the day that Justice Scalia passed away. And that 5-4 decision on your basic right to own a firearm in your home was gone. Hillary Clinton, not surprisingly, said it was a terrible decision. The Supreme Court got it wrong. And so we knew what type of justice Hillary Clinton would put up, and we knew what type of justice Donald Trump would put up. So we all worked hard. We went with a moral purpose to make sure that we saved the soul of this country and saved individual freedom, and thank God we won. But there's also somebody who worked really, really hard for Hillary Clinton, worked really hard, gave her a lot of money, called in a lot of favors to make sure that she was president, and that was Phil Bredesen. So despite what he says, if you care about individual freedom in this country, if you care about Tennessee values, there's a very, very clear choice. And what we do over the next 22 days is really going to determine the type of country our kids and grandkids grow up in. Because in case you haven't noticed, if you haven't turned on the TV, there's a lot of ads going on. There's a lot of money being spent in Tennessee. And when you wonder, when Phil Bredesen goes to New York City to meet with Michael Bloomberg, and when Chuck Schumer and all these people are spending all of this money in Tennessee, do you think it's because they love country music or love our barbecue or love our values and love what we care about? No, it's because they want to put Chuck Schumer in control of the agenda in Washington. They want to make sure that we never get a Neil Gorsuch or Brett Kavanaugh on the court if there's a future opening. And they want to make sure that the legislative agenda that has served this state and all of us in this country so well is stopped dead in its tracks, and they do everything they can to undermine President Trump. That's what a vote for Phil Bredesen is. It doesn't matter if he's a likable guy. He is an untrustworthy man who is being supported by people who don't share our values and share what makes this country great. And that's why what we do over the next 22 days really will make a huge difference. Now, the good news is you have an alternative, and you have a very, very clear choice. Phil Bredesen will go up there as a show horse for Chuck Schumer, where they can go and they can trot him out and say, this is our moderate guy, while they move forward with dismantling individual freedom in this country. But if you want an alternative, you want a workhorse who will go to Washington, D.C., buck the system, take your values, put them in front of everything else, thank God you have that choice, and you have that choice in Marsha Blackburn. So I want to thank you for being here. I want to encourage you to do everything you can over the next 22 days. Don't wake up the day after the election and say, darn it, I wish I'd have done a little bit more. We lost it by this much. And Chuck Schumer's now calling the shots. And Dianne Feinstein is now chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee. And Bernie Sanders is now chair of the Budget Committee. That's what's at stake in this election, our values, our country. Please do everything you can to make sure that Marsha Blackburn is the next senator from the great state of Tennessee. So please welcome your next senator, Marsha Blackburn.